Well, I'm still learning this technology thing, and apparently I could have just paused the video, but now I have it in two pieces and I don't know how to splice it together. That's for the next thing I learned for my make-believe cooking show. But because I cooked the potatoes in such small pieces, they're already done. We've only like 4 minutes has gone by. So that's looking good. I'm gonna turn it off because I want the boiling to settle down. And then I'm going to bring the pot back over here onto my butcher's block so you can see what I'm gonna do. And I know this is amazing stuff. I'm gonna open some cans. Wow! But that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so my potatoes are, I wouldn't say they're like totally cooked, they're par cooked. So we're going to open up the cans and literally just dump them in there. And you can hear the bacon cooking in the background. So can number 1 of cream corn. And again, I mean, could you use more than 2 cans? Probably. Could you use just 1 can? Absolutely. It's gonna taste different every time because this is not, like I said, much of a recipe. Okay, so this one I just opened, this is just the regular corn. I do drain this because probably adding that water might be okay, but I just drain a little bit. I still leave a little bit of the water in, like they don't have to be super, super dry because that corny water is probably pretty tasty. As a matter of fact, I might actually just keep this can. Let's try the corny water that it comes in. Why not? All right, so there it goes. Delish. And then, so this dish is pretty reasonably priced because these cans I got, I think, on sale during a can, I stock up because I know that my family likes this. I would say I probably don't make it as much as they would like me to. But because it is a little higher on the calorie side, I try to be a little thoughtful. They would probably eat it every week if I made it. But I don't. I probably make it, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 times a year, so every other month or so. But during the quarantine, this is the second time I've made it in so many weeks, so it's having a revival. Now, when I added the corn, it brought the color up a little bit, so that's really good. And as you know, not a recipe girl, so I'm just gonna eyeball this, putting in some lemon pepper, and putting in the herbs de Provence. Yum, that is just gonna add a depth of flavor, a little bit more of a bouquet. Alrighty, now adding the cream corn makes it so that you don't have to add as much cream. And keeping the starchy water from the potatoes in there also means you don't need as much cream. But in my mind, if you're gonna have chowder, you might as well make it really creamy and delicious. So you guessed it, or maybe you didn't. Here's one more thing I should have gotten ahead of time so you don't have to just look at a blank screen. But I'm coming right back. So could you use plain whole milk? Yes, you could. Another thing I've used in the past has been condensed milk, canned condensed milk. That's totally fine too, but I do like to use the half and half. Just makes it super special. And you know what? No surprise here. I'm just gonna eyeball it. So what I'm looking for is a color and a consistency that works for me, that I like. And there we go, that's it. I would say that was maybe a cup of half and half. I'll have to look back on this video. But I would say about a cup. So let's see. So it's a fair amount of calories. I'd have to do a little bit of math. But when you think about how many portions this is going to have, a cup of half and half really isn't all that much. So I'm gonna return this onto the stove at a very low, not even a simmer. So my stove has a low setting that is even below simmer. I have scorched this in the past because I have put it back on a boiling burner, and that's why I take it off, turn the burner off. That is just my little way of making sure I don't scorch this, because then it just really tastes bad. So back it goes. Now, a couple of things you could do to dress this up. If you have the vegetarians in your house like I do, you're of course going to have to do the bacon separately like I do. You could add, if you can put it all together, then you're going to maybe want to chop up the bacon, cook it right in the base of the pan, and then add some onion as well, soften that up. And then you can throw the potatoes right on top of that, put the water right on top of that, and cook it just like we did right from the start. So that makes the whole thing truly in one pan, or one pot, which is awesome. Really efficient. Now my bacon is looking good. It's coming up. That's just going to be on the side. Once it's done, I will let it cool. I will chop it up into pieces and put it in a container, and my husband and I will add that ourselves to the corn chowder. That's it. It's basically done. I may want to put a little bit of salt in there. I'll test it first, but it's just going to come up to a simmer. All those flavors are going to work together, and then by the time my bacon is done, we're ready to have lunch. Corn chowder 101 without a recipe card.